Hello, hello. This is Pauline from Pauline Art Stuff. And today I've got a special announcement for the month of December. I'm gonna be hosting a hashtag for the month of December, and it's called Tiny Little Christmas. And I got a separate hashtag for Tiny Little Christmas Countdown. And that is one of the color alongs that I will do in the month of December. So let's start with that one. That is in this lovely book, Fieldmouse Joruri Travel Sketchbook. The idea is that we're gonna color everything that's tiny in combined with Christmas. So anything that's small. So small Christmas houses, small mushroom houses with Christmas elements in the picture, small animals, small people, fairies, critters. It doesn't matter as long as it's tiny and it has to do with Christmas. It counts for this event. But for the countdown, I want to do an advent calendar. So that's this one. So what I will be doing is I will put a color along up for the advent part, the calendar part, on the 1st of December. And it will have timestamps per day. So you can click on day 1, you will get the color along for this one. Then if you click on the second timestamp for day 2, you get that one, all the way up to the 24th. And when it's the 25th, I will have a separate color along for this page. So it can already be up earlier than the 25th of December. So I might already have it up in like the second week of the month, so that you also have this one available as a color along. But then at least you know that that is coming up. So this one has its own hashtag, Tiny Little Christmas Countdown 2025. So that is this one. So if you want to color along with a countdown, you can use that hashtag. So it doesn't have to be this advent calendar. As long as it is an advent style page, it counts. Because it's about tiny things. So if you don't have tiny homes or tiny animals, but you've got like little victories from Johanna Basford, and there's like Christmas style pages or little elements, that counts as well. Just like simple things, you know, either it's tiny in the sense that it's a mouse or a tiny house, or it's small as in the sense it's a small drawing. So you don't have to color as much. So it's your interpretation. But this will be a color along for the month of December, especially for the hashtag. Then I will now show you some examples of what you could pick for this hashtag. And the first one I'm going to show you is Matchstick Mouse by Morgan O'Brien. It's one of his square books, as you can tell, and it's called Merry Little Christmas Coloring Book. Right now you can get this book on Morgan O'Brien's Ko-Fi shop for free as a PDF. So if you want to color in this book, it's totally free at the moment. So any page in this book, as you can see, it only has 15 pages because it's a companion book basically for the picture book, because this is the picture book, which has colored pictures. And then this one with the white front is the coloring book from it. And then you literally go through the story. As you can see, there's a story here, and you get 15 of these tiny Christmas pages. So all of these pages would count for Tiny Little Christmas 2025 because it's a tiny mouse and it has Christmas in the page. So yeah, that is basically the whole idea for this hashtag, that we're coloring tiny things, as in small animals, small houses, small people, or just a small drawing that has to do with Christmas. It's all allowed. Basically, if you don't have a lot of time, this is perfect. So all of these can be done. And I am going to try to do a color along in this one as well for the month of December. Not sure when or which one, but I will definitely try to get around to this one, because this is also really nice and simple for the Christmas month. So there will be at least 2 color alongs this month to come for December. But yeah, it's a really small book, as you can see. So that one is really nice. So if you need like examples, you can also find a flip through from the picture book. And then all of these will be colored in the flip through. So that is good if you don't have any inspiration, you just want to copy paste. So this is a perfect book for this hashtag. Then the next thing that I've picked are some Tokumeku books. which have some smaller images that has to do with like the Christmas or winter theme. Like this one only has some plants that could be Christmassy, but it's not necessarily Christmas. But because it's a tiny picture, I thought I will still show you it. So if you would like to consider doing something like this, that's also allowed. And the other one I picked is just a Christmas picture with some presents. That is not too much work. So that counts as well. As long as there's something tiny in it, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you have examples of what I mean by that. So the next book that I have from the Kodawari is Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Inatome Makiko, which is the same illustrator as the Yuyuri Field Mouse. And in this one, they are wreaths, and it has these tiny mouses in them. And this is the only one that has to do with Christmas. So this would also count because they're tiny mouses. So yeah, that's what I meant. I like the mousies in my books. So I've got a lot of pages picked with mouses. But it doesn't mean that you can't go for any other small animals like rabbits or bugs or critters or, you know what I mean? Anything that's small, basically. So this one is called The Polar Bear Adventure Cruise by Shiratori Yuki. And this one I flagged this page mainly because they're smaller than, for instance, this page. You could also do this. It would still count because there's like small animals in it. But for this one, you got like a bite size. If you only want to do this, that's totally okay as well, because that's the whole idea. If you don't have a lot of time, you could still participate because it's called a tiny little Christmas, you know? So tiny pictures is allowed. You don't have to color an entire page. Then this book is also really handy for tiny things, and it's called The Rabbit's Fairy Tale Fantasy Coloring Book by Kotoli. It's also part of the Tokumeku series. And in this book, yes, you've got like a really big spread with tiny elves and Christmas stuff, but that might be a bit too much for you during the Christmas month. But these ones are tiny little toys. So you could literally just pick any of these and be done. So even if you would just color that one, it counts. And there are many more in this book that could be considered like Christmassy. Like these are not necessarily Christmas, but like this one definitely is Christmas. So that would also be a good one. Like, yes, it's a bit more, it's not a full page, but it's still a really nice small project. And then you got even another one with all elements. You could also say, I want to just color this one. And then next year you do that one, or you just do a few this year and you finish it like after a few years. That's also possible. But you could also go all out and do a full spread if you like. As long as it's tiny, it's all good. So you can go either way. You can go really complicated, or you can go with a small picture so that it doesn't take much time at all. This book is just picked because it has winter theme pages, and this page has mice on it. So this one would count, this page. See, that's the one that's in the book. But there's also definitely like some Christmas theme pages. Let me see if I can find it quickly for you. Like there's one with a Santa. Let me see. It's a bit new still, so it's hard to flip. But I know there's one with the Santa head. It's somewhere in between. Like this one. You could also do this one. Even though it's not necessarily like tiny animals or anything, but it's Christmas. And this page is a lot more simple than, for instance, like a Hannah Carlson or a Kanoko Agusa or Mythographic. You know, that's also how you could do it. As long as it has Christmas and it's tiny for you, then it also counts. So it depends, you know, like if you think this is a tiny project for you, perfect. So it's all up to your own interpretation of what you count as tiny. So now we've got a more complicated book, which is Leon's Journey by Kanoko Agusa. And why did I pick this one, you might think? Well, first of all, there are mice in it. They're tiny. But there's also this advent calendar. And you could also pick this one for the countdown hashtag. So you could color one every day. So this is day 2 and day 3, day 4, and so on. See? So you could, even if you don't have time for every single day, you could finish it next year. You know, maybe you only want to do it once every 2 days. Or maybe you want to like only do the mouse, you know, and forget about everything else. That's also an option. Like if you do something every year, at some point it will be done. And that's the idea of this hashtag, Tiny Little Christmas, for everyone that doesn't have much time. But if you do have a lot of time and you want more of a challenge, then these 2 pages are magnificent, because as you can see, they are having scarves and outfits, and they are giving like a hat to Leon. As you can see over here, Christmas hat, they're giving it, and their mouse on every page here. So you could definitely do this as well, because there are tiny animals in it. So it also counts as a tiny Christmas page, even though it's definitely not a tiny project. And the other option that I found is this lovely page, but there are 4 different frames. So you could just pick one of these 4 and it counts as well. So that means you've got a tiny project instead of a full page. So that's also a way you could go. So that is like basically the idea of this hashtag. I got a few more examples. I've got one more in a Korean book, which is The Day We Finally Meet by Eugene Kim. It's an out-of-print book that I was able to buy from a viewer of mine. And it has this Christmas page. But as you can see, there's a tiny raccoon. So that counts as well. If there's just a tiny baby animal in it, you could also interpret it that way. But you could also say, no, I just want to call it the grandma, you know, because there's some snowflakes. Not necessarily Christmas, but you could bend your rules to your own will. It doesn't have to be like too Christmassy. Just do what you think fits the theme. That's basically the thing I want to tell you. Then I got one more foreign book, which is by Green Ivy, Nostalgia. And this one I picked because these are tiny projects for me, because I think this is a book that is pretty simple for me. Maybe not for you guys, but for me this is like an hour work and I'm done, basically, because I like to color these with like a really light layer of pencil. So I basically only go over everything like once and it's done, which is like a tiny project for me because of that. So that is also an option, but there are also a few other options that are also Christmassy, like this one. And I think there's one more in this book that you could color, but it's not necessarily Christmas. But yeah, that is like a stretch, this one. But yeah, that is something that I picked as well. There are more books from this artist, which also have Christmas pages. But I will not show you them. I'm just showing you examples so you can get some ideas. So the next book that I picked is a Clara Markova. And it's her first book that I own, because there are 2 more before this one. So this is one of her oldest. And the reason I picked this one is because there's a lot of Christmas pages. And they usually have like tiny critters in them. But this one is a tiny home. As you can see, it's a tiny home with a snowman, some presents for Christmas. So this would also count because it's a tiny home and it has a Christmas element in it. So if you want to go more that route, that's also an option. Then the next one is both Christmas and it has a mouse. So it counts for everything. It's tiny, it's Christmas, it's perfect. It's just not a tiny project. But you could go either way. You could make it whatever you feel like. So I also flagged this one because it's a tiny house. And it's definitely Christmas, see? They've got a little fireplace, little presents, a little tree. So that one would also count as a tiny little Christmas page. And yeah, I hope this is helpful for you to pick out some pages that you might want to color for this December month, because I wanted it to be accessible for everyone. Whether you have a lot of time or you have less time, there's always something you can pick that is either Christmassy with little animals, little people, or just a tiny picture with a theme of Christmas. It is all good. And I hope this will be a nice, well, it makes a difference, you know, because usually people go for like a lot of color alongs, for instance, in the month of December. And I was like, no, there are enough people that don't have so much time during the Christmas. So let's keep it simple and make a tiny Christmas celebration. So that is why I made this hashtag, so that everyone can join, whether you've got only 10 minutes to spare or like 10 hours. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope you will enjoy this hashtag with me. and enjoy the color alongs that I will be doing in my 2 books that I showed you previously, which are these 2. So I will for sure make 2 color alongs this month, and one of them will be in this book, one for the Advent calendar and one for the Christmas decoration page. So these 2 will be separate color alongs, and then one from this book as a nice little bonus. And that's all for this little hashtag of mine. So yeah, I hope you will enjoy it. I hope you will join in. And if you do, use the hashtag so that I can see all your lovely creations for this hashtag. Because yeah, I like the idea. I like it. You know, don't make it too overcomplicated, and enjoy yourself. So I hope all of you have a lot of fun, and have fun coloring tiny little things for Christmas. So thank you for watching, and I hope for you to join me in this quest of mine of coloring mouse for December. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for my next video. And until next time, yep, that's it. Bye bye.